In this video I'll be trying to fix this OnePlus 6 that has bent and the display is badly shattered. I was given this phone for free, and since it showed the red LED while charging, I decided to try to fix it, since it obviously wasn't completely dead. This phone has an AMOLED screen, and those are very expensive, so I decided to get a cheaper replacement LCD screen, since I couldn't be sure if the phone was even possible to fix. The old, badly shattered back glass was difficult to get off because there were many small shards of the glass on the edges, and I had to heat it up with a heat gun multiple times before it did come apart from the phone. After getting the back glass of the phone, I instantly became way more hopeful of the phone working, because I noticed that the bend was right between the battery and the main logic board, so maybe no other components were harmed than the display and the frame itself. After the screws that hold the plastic shield above the motherboard in place, I detached the flex cables that attach to the main board. After the flex cables, there was also one screw below the plastic shield, and there's the earpiece flex cable that I needed to detach, and also I took out the SIM card tray. Next, I detached the earpiece itself from the older frame and transferred it over to the new frame. Earpieces can be attached with a strong glue, and they are easy to break when taking from the frame. Next, I move to the bottom part of the phone, where there's another logic board that also has a plastic shielding above it, and there are some screws that need to be taken out. After that, the shielding lifts out of the phone, and there's again some flex cables and also coaxial cables that need to be detached from the logic board. There's also two more screws on either side of the charging port. I took out the coaxial cables and also the battery. OnePlus has this nice pull tab system that allows the battery to come nicely out of the frame without too much risk of damage to the battery. Next step is taking out the flex cables, and after that the logic board lifts off after taking out the USB port flex cable combination. Under the logic board there's this one component that needs to be transferred over to the new frame. With the parts in the new frame now, I attached the coaxial cables and routed them correctly towards the main board of the phone. Next I inserted the flex cables I took from the old frame. After putting the shielding on place, I moved on to the main board and installed it on place. I also attached the flex cables that run under the battery. After installing the battery back on the phone and securing the bottom shielding on the phone with one screw, I attached the charger. And I was very happy to see the "not enough charge" message pop up on the screen. Now I knew that the phone would very likely work. I installed the two screws on either side of the charging board and then put the bottom shielding back on the phone. Next I needed to replace the original back cover of the phone. For that I needed to take out the fingerprint reader and the camera lens. Also the lens for the flash was its own part on the back glass. For the new back glass I decided to get this clear transparent glass, which will allow the phone's insides to be visible when the phone is assembled. I transferred the camera lens over and also the lens for the flash and the fingerprint reader. Next I needed to plug the fingerprint reader's flex ribbon cable on the main board, and after that I needed to put the shielding above the main board back in place. Then I quickly tested that everything seemed to work, and then I put the back glass in place. The clear glass back could look better on some other phones, but I think it's okay. There's just some glue visible on the camera lenses, which doesn't look super nice, but I think it's okay. After letting the glue dry for a day, I took a better look at the phone, and it seemed to have pretty good specs. 8 gigs of RAM should be very nice for games, and I tried Fortnite first. It's running on Epic quality preset, and it's mostly managing to hold 30 FPS frame rate. So this is really the best experience of Fortnite on an Android phone that I've had until this point. I could almost maybe see myself playing Fortnite on this phone sometimes, but no matter how powerful the phone is, it can't offer the controls of a PC, and also the wireless connection isn't that stable compared to a wired one. I didn't bother to test anything else, because in my experience when Fortnite works well on a phone, I haven't really found anything that wouldn't.